Hey, everybody, I'm Laura DeFranco, the CEO of Brave Healer Productions, where we have a mission to change the world one brave word at a time around here. And here today to help me do that are some of the amazing author experts of a book we have coming out called Unstoppable, Being Fierce, Fearless, and Unfuckwithable in Life and Business. Wait till you guys read this book, I'm telling you. Okay, before I introduce you to these lovely authors, I really want to say a big thank you to Rochelle Marie Lawson. She is our lead author of this project. And Rochelle, you have attracted an amazing author cast of unstoppable women like yourself. Thank you so much. We wouldn't be here without you. And you guys are going to get to hear from Rochelle also in a solo interview. We're going to talk all about the book, so stay tuned for that. Ladies, welcome.
Hey,
Hi.
thanks for having us.
I'm so happy to have you here. Okay, so I have Aura E. Martinez with me. She is a self-discovery and empowerment coach helping women gain total clarity of their purpose so they can wake up to daily fulfillment and certainty. With me also is Trina Hammock. She's the founder of Cornerstone Wellness Center. Trina Hammock helps clients worldwide to reclaim their hope, health, and vitality. And Rosalind Beresford is with me. She's a life coach, the founder of Triskelion Transitions. I love the alliteration, Rosalind, all right, where they help you boldly manage life transitions. And I hope y'all feel the power that I have in my little Zoom room today. Let's start this party with Aura. Tell us about the chapter that you wrote.
Yes. Well, the chapter 13, is entitled The Key to Your Dream Life, How to Use Emotions for Daily Clarity. And the story that I share is what actually started everything where I'm at right now today. And it all started out with what I felt was like a midlife crisis type of thing, where I was so frustrated, but quote unquote, I had no reason to be frustrated because here I am traveling the world and I'm making good money. And so the reason why I shared that story is because so many times we bury what it is that we feel. We minimize what it is that's going on in our inner world. And it's so important that we get so connected and so in tune with our inner world, with what is going on within, because those are the very things that guide us. That is the roadmap as to what the next step needs to be and where we need to go in our life.
Do you remember like the moment you woke up to that? Like, I'm actually going to talk to all of you about this practice that Aura is talking about right now, because I think it's foundational. But I'm always curious, do you remember a moment where you sort of woke up into that and then moved forward listening to those messages?
Well, at first I had a lot of resistance, to be honest. And I didn't know what to do with that frustration. And it was when I just couldn't take it anymore with the frustration, meaning with the resistance of the frustration, that I decided, you know what? It's not that it is what it is in terms of I give up. I'm just going to feel what it is that I'm feeling. And this is the way life is. But it is what it is in the sense of, you know what? Let me lean into that frustration. Let me see what that is all about. And I just decided to take it day by day and pay attention to the guidance that was being provided for me, because that's what the emotions are. They are guidance. We just cannot dwell in it. And so it wasn't until I got curious about my frustration that I saw the next step, and then the next step, and then the next step. And it all took me to finding out what my calling really is, which is the kind of coaching that I do nowadays.
Getting curious about your frustration, that's a game changer.
Oh,
Like
yes.
the curiosity. Tell me more about that.
Yes. So a lot of times the biggest mistake that we make is that we tend to dwell in our emotions. And the emotions, especially the ones that are very uncomfortable, they're so valuable. And when you become curious, you become a friend of that emotion as opposed to making that emotion your enemy. And so as you become curious, you just You just question yourself. So why do I feel this way? What is that needs to change within me so that this emotion that I'm feeling at the moment can be transformed? So it's just leaning in without judgment, without giving it any meaning whatsoever, but just what is this about? Right?
I love it, Aura. You're speaking my language. If you guys see me looking down, those of you are actually watching us today, it's because I'm scribbling my little quotes. I love quoting you guys when you say brilliant things. You know, emotions, especially the ones that are really uncomfortable, are actually the most valuable. I'm just repeating Aura's, what she said. Aura, thank you so much. I can't wait for you all to read Aura's chapter. Let's hear from Trina next. You're welcome. Tell me about your chapter, Trina.
Okay. Well, first of all, I'm glad that Aura started with the emotional piece because that's kind of what tied into my story. I wrote chapter 6, Canceling Cancer. And 14 years ago, I had an aggressive stage 3 ovarian cancer. And as a holistic practitioner, it was like, how the heck could I end up with cancer? And with all the things that I do in my practice and all the ways that I help people. And it tied back to that emotional piece, an emotional trauma that had not been resolved. And I found it was really important to let people know that any disease that you end up with a diagnosis of, there's always an emotional root cause. And you can backtrack and you can figure out where that trauma started, right? I see Aura shaking her head. Yeah. And it's really important to go back and figure out where that started, resolve it there so that you can be healthier. And if we teach our kids how to do this, we will have healthier, happier kids. And this message is just so important to me because I didn't realize that a trauma that happened to me at 3 would make a cancer at 46. And we can avoid that by, digging into those emotions, resolving conflicts and traumas early on. And that's why I wrote it, because I wanted to give people some tools so that they could investigate and they could clear these from their lives.
Yeah. And the real key is looking back at those experiences. You didn't know it at 3. You had to grow up a little bit. You had to come to a place in your life where you actually could look at your past life and decide to deal with whatever that was, right? And so the thing that I love to add to this is there's so much hope and possibility when some of these things haven't been looked at, and you've been to 15 doctors and you aren't better yet. And all of a sudden you get with a coach or a helper, a doctor, a holistic practitioner who can actually integrate mind, body, souls, all those emotions, mental, physical, all of it, right? It's only there that you get to the root cause. Talk to me more about that.
Yeah, 100%. And there are a lot of root causes. There's many levels. You've got that emotional root cause, which is generally never really looked at least not in the medical system. And then you've got the toxicity level, you've got the parasite level, you've got all these different root cause levels. So if you can take a big, wide look at the picture and start chipping away at it, you can actually get better. And there is hope. I mean, I've had Lyme, I've had mold poisoning, I've had heavy metal poisoning, I've had the cancer, and there were root causes to all of those on so many levels, including that emotional level. And but there is hope. If I can come back from the dead, pretty much anybody can. You just have to have somebody guide you that knows the path and knows how to dig deeper. So, yeah.
So tell me just a little bit about the tool you're offering in your chapter.
Oh, yeah, it's awesome. So there's actually a couple of them in there. One is Name It, Claim It, Dump It. And this is how to get that emotional garbage up and out. So
wait, did you guys catch that? Name it, claim it, dump it. I just wanted to slow that train down just a little because you said it really fast. I'm like, I want them to hear that. Okay, keep going.
Yeah, when you express yourself and then you have that good cry and then there's nothing left to cry about. You guys have all been there, right? That's what we need to do with some of these old traumas that are still ruling our lives. You need to name it, claim it, dump it until there's nothing left to say. And so that's one really great tool. And then the other tool that I have for you is timeline therapy, how to go back in time and map out these traumas, and you will see how your brain has so beautifully like replayed these patterns and how you can unwind them. And then honestly, that even can lead you to like what you came here to do, your mission, and it's amazing. So timeline therapy and name it, claim it, dump it are things I use in my office every single day.
Nice. I can't wait for you guys to read this chapter and really to be able to dip your toe in all of these amazing tools. Oh my gosh, this book, right? Okay, Rosalind, tell us about your amazing chapter. Oh, make sure and unmute. There you go. Okay.
Sorry.
All good.
So I'm Rosalind Beresford, and I wrote chapter 11, You're Going to Make It, How to Boldly Embrace Life's Transitions. This chapter came about for me because of all the change I've faced throughout my life from childhood. My dad was in the military. He was also an alcoholic. My mom escaped that marriage when I was 10. And watching her go through that had, of course, some trauma on me. Well, my whole childhood had a lot of trauma in it. And I went from there to being expat wife and trailing spouse, which is something that, unless you're in the world of following your spouse around the world for his job, you don't really get. But it is a thing. And then at age 50, saying, I can't be with him anymore because of his infidelities, which had been going on for 20 years, and I had stayed to raise my children. So at age 50, I said, okay, why are you staying here? You are so unhappy. You are physically ill. I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. I did a lot of research saying I don't have fibromyalgia. What could be causing these symptoms? And I realized that cortisol was probably racing through my system and causing all these physical manifestations of pain. Basically, I take you through that sort of shift I did, and I realized that I have these tips for how to handle change, and I use the acrostic change. C, control your negative thoughts. H, have confidence. A, allow yourself to freak out. And we've talked about that, all three of us today already. N, narrate your own story. Don't live by somebody else's expectations. G, go nuts. Have fun. Bring some excitement into your life. And E, evaluate your feelings. So like Aura and Trina, there's a lot of overlap there with how you have to process emotions, how you have to recognize when you're ready to make that change. And in the chapter, I concentrate on the C, the controlling your negative thoughts, which I think women are particularly fall easily prey to listening to that negative chatterbox and letting it control them.
Yeah, no doubt. I was listening hard to your A and G. Allow yourself to freak out. Like once in a while, you just got to do it, and then go nuts. I like the combo of those two for some reason. It's got a lot of energy to that. Listen, girl, it takes a warrior to do what you did at your stage of life that you did it in. Like, I know that doesn't happen overnight. There was probably some torturous buildup to the decision. Tell me just a little bit more about that. I mean, it mostly to help our viewers understand it's doable.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think what happened was, so we had made the decision to move. We had been living in Chicago, made the decision to move back to Asia, where we had lived for many, many years prior to 3 years in Chicago. And it scared me because that's where the infidelity started, was while we were living in Asia. And I ended up, shortly after we moved to Hong Kong, I ended up in therapy because I had discovered that even while in Chicago, where I thought I was safe from it, he had been unfaithful. And I spent 7 years working with a sex therapist so that I wouldn't keep blaming myself for his decisions. And I think I've always thought of it as that's kind of a dirty little secret, the unfaithful and infidelity, and people don't talk about it enough. Bill Clinton, the whole that, and then Tiger Woods. It actually re-traumatized me to hear those things. So I think I just got to the point where my son was finishing high school, my daughter was finishing university, and I was so incredibly unhappy. I had an amazing life. Don't get me wrong. I had an amazing life with his success. It brought me opportunities that, few people have. Um, but I was unhappy. And I knew that I didn't want to be that unhappy again or ever. It was time for that unhappiness to end.
Yeah,
That's sort of
and
what
good
the
for you
chapter
for
is.
making a decision and actually going for the joy. I talk a lot about my joyometer.
Mhm.
And I use my joyometer when I'm having that question about, something. I wonder, wow, I wonder how many people have a story that goes something like, I had an amazing life and I was still miserable. And this could be a topic that we talk about all day today. So, any of these juicy topics today, ladies, oh my goodness. I have this next question I want to ask all of you, though. So, Trina, I'm going to start with you for this one. Okay. What does being unstoppable even mean to you personally? What does that mean?
Oh man. It means that I put on my armor every day and I go out and I fight for truth, and I fight for people who can't fight for themselves because they're getting the, short end of the stick. Nobody can help them. And I'm not going to stop. I won't stop until I figure it out, because they can't do it and they're not getting the help. So that's what it means to me, is I'm not going to stop until I get the right answers and help them to heal.
I love that. I'm writing that one down if you couldn't guess already. I love the nuggets, you guys, because it means something different to everyone, first of all. So that's why I love hearing all of your voices. And let me say a quick thank you to all of you. I've said it to all of our authors. Thank you, not just for saying yes to this, but you all are such amazing master teachers. And it's one thing to be able to coach your clients and teach. You do this every day and you give them these amazing tools, right? But then someone comes along and says, hey, now I want you to put it in a book in exactly the perfect words so that someone can still, have an experience. And thank you all for doing that so brilliantly. Seriously. So I'm writing down Trina's thing, I won't stop until I figure it out. Yes, that's part of being unstoppable, right? Is there anything else you want to say about that, Trina?
Yeah, I just look at myself as a pit bull and I will not let go until it's done. And yeah, that's what it means to me.
I love it. I love it. Okay, Rosalind, how about you? What does being unstoppable mean?
For me, it means not letting life's circumstances get in your way of success and being happy. And it's so easy for us to to just go rotely through life and not recognize that we're unhappy, not recognize that we need to make a change, and then fearing that change. I mean, my gosh, people rather and it's your brain protecting you. It wants you to stay in your comfort zone. Stepping outside of that comfort zone, that's what means being unstoppable means to me. Stepping outside of your comfort zone and just going for it.
Yes. Oh my gosh, you guys are so awesome. Okay, so I wrote down not letting life circumstances get in your way.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times have we had a circumstance and then we're like, and you get stuck or you get paralyzed, and really, you all know that's up here, right?
Yep.
So this is, sometimes I think we all make this sound really easy. This is a mindset practice. I'm going to ask you a question, all of you, about that in a minute. Or how about you? What's your version of this definition?
Yes. To me, unstoppable means you are you unapologetically. You are so in tune with yourself, because it's when you are in tune with yourself that you are unstoppable. No matter if it doesn't make sense for someone else, no matter what may be going on outside of you, you are you no matter what.
So, so important. I believe I might have taken decades to get to that point. I know. So we were talking about in another interview yesterday, just like if there was any regret, because you all are of the mindset that you're here, who you are, what you do, because of all the things that have happened to you, right? But we were talking about this one little super tiny regret that, and it would have been, could we have just gotten there faster? it would have been so cool, you know? But yeah, oh my goodness. I get that so much. Okay, so you all have been sharing nuggets of awareness, and really that foundational awareness. Aura started talking about it right from the bat here today. And it's so, so important to me. Being a healer or a coach is about guiding people to a new level of awareness. And for me, feeling is healing. So I feel like part of my job is to help people into that feeling world. There's a lot of ways we can do this. So Rosalind, you first on this one. Talk to us a little bit about what your awareness practice looks like on the day-to-day, your personal practice.
So, one thing I have adopted as a lifestyle is the practice of gratitude. And I don't mean just listing daily the things I'm grateful for. I mean really deep diving into gratitude. So, you know, it's snowing out today. So, am I grateful for that? Well, maybe. But what can I find to be grateful about it? And why do those feelings come up for me? So it's beautiful. It's, you know, there are all kinds of things. So it's not just listing. It's not just, I don't just list. I really take a deep dive into things I'm grateful for. And I don't necessarily do that deep dive on a daily basis. I do the deep dive 2 to 3 times a week into a journal. And I really talk about the qualities of whatever it is that I'm being grateful for. I talk about how it makes me feel. I talk about all of that in my journal. And I mean, daily, just being grateful at any moment in time, just being grateful for your cup of coffee in the morning, for example. Yeah.
Everybody here has that, yes?
Yeah.
That piece, right? That I say that because I knew it, first of all, because it is a foundational practice, a part of an awareness practice for most people who are improving their lives, interested in self-development, interested in healing and living the best life, right? So I'm going to tweak this for just a moment. And I haven't done this before, but Aura and Trina, I'm going to give you a chance to answer the question separately from this. But Aura, if you were going to add to the gratitude answer that Rosalind just talked about. Thanks, Rosalind, for mentioning deep dive. That's a little different, right? It's a different idea. Aura, is there any other way that gratitude comes into your day? Give us another idea.
Yeah. To me, gratitude is a lifestyle. And I always start with the mind. What am I thinking? How can I think of this in terms of gratitude, right? Because it's the thinking that then shifts my feeling, but I want to add something else too. What I like to say, do in gratitude and be in gratitude. It's not enough for us to really activate the magic of gratitude in our life. It's not enough just to think it and feel it. We need to be it and do it. And that's in our actions and how we are in our interactions with others. So that's also another way that I include gratitude as a lifestyle.
I love it. Okay, so don't you love to go last on these questions, Trina? What else? What else would you add to that? Like, what's another way you've brought gratitude in to your day?
Yeah. So for me, being the empath, I'm sure you guys all are as well, feeling the gratitude, you know, and just the gratitude that I got up this morning and I was able to get on that spin bike, or I was able to do my self-care, my saunas, my get out in nature. I mean, I've got a whole routine. And feeling gratitude, you know, more so than anything, just letting it really come from my heart space, that's what really makes my world tick. And then, the self-care comes from that. I really have to, I'm so grateful that I am here 14 years later, when I really shouldn't have been. So.
Okay, so thank you all for playing in my sandbox with that one, because I knew, gratitude is a huge subject. And Rosalind, just to kind of riff off, I don't just do a gratitude list. I changed my gratitude list into a love list. I up-leveled my gratitude list, and then I use that for the feeling pieces that you other two ladies were talking about. I say it out loud. I walk around, I practice with my pets. I do all, I'm just Emmett. I love being that. It's fun. Life is short. Let's have more fun. So Trina, stay with me on this same question now. Awareness practice is a big question. What's another piece of when I peek in your window at your house? What else are you doing in terms of your awareness practice?
Oh, well, tuning in. What do I need today? If I'm exhausted, I'm not going to get on that spin bike. I'm going to get the rest that I need. Or if being able to really see where am I at day to day and not overdoing it. I work a lot, and so it means getting that rest so that I can take care of myself. So then I can take care of other people. So, but not overdoing it. It's hard. Because it's hard. You're slammed and you want to help everybody, but then you also don't want to drain yourself. So it's being aware of that fine line so that you can fill yourself up so that you can help other people.
Yeah, really nice. Okay, Aura, how about you? What else would you add to this? And if we were going to peek inside and just see the other things that you're up to when you do this lifestyle of yours that you were talking about?
Every morning, I give myself time for me. And that's my time for me to connect with me. That's my time for me to see where I'm at, what's going on in my own inner world. I was going to say little world. It's a big world for me, but whatever. In my own inner world, because from that place, I'm able to sort what is mine and what is not, especially with the lifestyle that I have, that I'm always interacting with people, not just through my coaching, but also because I fly a lot. That's the way that I'm able to maintain the grounding, by really being connected with what is going on within me. How is my body feeling? How am I thinking? What's going on with me? What do I need? Just like Trina was saying. So every morning, without fail, I give myself time for me, and I journal as well.
I think that's probably a common thread with everyone here too, probably the entire author cast, right? Yeah. So Rosalind, other than the gratitude, what else?
I use meditations, and I sense that Aura probably includes that in her time for herself, because that's part of my big morning routine as well, is to spend some time meditating. And I don't, there's so many different methods of meditation out there. My preference is one where I just try to get my mind to go blank and try to stop thinking for a while, so that you get a little break and you end up feeling more rested and revived just from turning that brain off. It's not an easy meditation to do, and I don't always succeed. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect at this. That negative chatterbox can really take over when you're trying to be silent. And but yeah, I spend moments in silence every day. And when I find that my that tension is building up in me, I will just take a minute or two and do some deep breathing and just turn everything off. And it's amazing how quickly you can clarify your thinking just by turning it off for a little while. So yeah, meditation.
Nice. The thing is, and I'm talking to our viewers too, we could sit here and we could go around this table and we could keep going for an hour on all the different ways that we practice the awareness in our lives, watching, observing your own thoughts, your feelings in your body. I love how you all are talking about taking morning inventory, like, okay, how do I feel? What do I even need today? Right? Rather than just rushing into the to-do list and not even asking yourself that question, which, I wonder how many of you out there, that's what's happening. Miracle Morning is real, y'all. Have y'all read that book, The Miracle Morning? It's a great, great book. They just, I think, semi-recently put out The Miracle Morning for Entrepreneurs, which I love. I need to get that one. I love that idea that because you are all unstoppable leaders. You are leader women in your fields and in your communities. And I think that there are levels of this. And at a foundation, we have figured out how to have that miracle morning for ourselves. It doesn't have to be the morning. I love to have a miracle evening too. but we've made that a priority either way. That's got to be the priority, or else you don't have a cup full enough to give, So Rosalind, I'm going to stick with you, and we're going to go back around with this next question. And I really just want you to think about our viewers in terms of, they're listening and they're getting some awesome nuggets today. And it's been a, rough couple of years, and they might still feel stuck and just, they don't know how to step on the journey at a simple foundational way. Give them a stepping stone today. What would you say to them to help empower them?
I think I would say take that baby step outside of your comfort zone. You don't know what's on the other side. Do not berate yourself if you fall back. That's the worst practice that I see clients do all the time, is they make one step forward, they have a setback, and they're right back where they began, instead of forgiving themselves and being nice and loving to themselves. Talk to yourself like you would talk to your child.
I love that. I add your child or your BFF.
Yeah.
Whatever works, just be kind, Thank you, Rosalind. I love that. Okay, Aura. So in your words, somebody listening might just feel a little stuck still and they need an easy entry point. What would yours be?
I would say, and it piggybacks with what Rosalind said. Think about what's the first step. What's the first step? What's the one step that you can take today that can cause at least one change? And I say that because so many times we think that if we take the big step, that's when we're going to experience the change that we want to experience. Not necessarily. Just think about that one step. When we're feeling overwhelmed and stuck, just that one step. And if there's something that makes you curious, lean into that curiosity. Lean into that curiosity. That's another start to your transformation. Lean into your curiosity and take that one step.
Love it. Thank you. Curiosity can be, I call it flipping the switch. You feel stuck and you can move yourself to curious. Whew, you flip it fast. That's a whole new world in curiosity. Love, love, love that one. Trina, you, my dear, are going to kind of close us out today with this answer. What would you say to someone who's still maybe a little stuck, needs an easy place to enter?
Yeah. All right. I've got an activity. What I would say is make yourself a vision board and dive into your heart. When the whole world is going crazy and there's a lot of fear and everybody's paralyzed, stop, make a sacred space, get the magazines out, find things that fill your heart with peace and love and things that make you happy, that you can feel happiness. Get them on a vision board. I was just telling my son this the other night. Make your vision board from your heart space so that your world can start opening up to things that you love and things that feed you and make you happy. And when it comes from your heart and it comes from the feelings, you will start attracting that in. And then fear starts to just melt away. So when you're doing this, just make sure that you're tapping in to the feeling of what you're putting up there, and make sure that everything that goes on your vision board is something that feels right. I once made one and I put one thing on there that wasn't quite right, but I thought I had to put it on there. And that's the only thing that did not manifest off that vision board. But I like to use them as steps into a new space when there's so much confusion and fear in the world. So there you go.
And that activity shifts the energy, which is essentially all of your tools and tips are that. It's an energy shift. And if we can shift in the moment, we can shift. We can move from stuck to something else. So I love arts and crafts shift. You know, I love the magazines. I love doing little art journals and cutting out pictures and, you know, combining it with colored pens, and just everyone is an artist. You can get a colored pen and cut out pictures from a magazine, y'all. So, you know, people love to say, oh, I can't do that, I'm not an artist. Or they say, I'm not a writer. Well, you can journal and you can cut pictures out of a magazine, you know, then you're doing pretty good. Oh my goodness, ladies, thank you so much for what you do in the world and for being here today to share it with everyone.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have some really good stuff coming up for you all in this new book, Unstoppable. But in the meantime, just pop on down to the show notes where I've got information about everything. But if something that one of these powerful women said to you today just sparked you a little bit, then go down and find their website. Go ahead and click, get it going, explore, because they are so generously there for you to answer questions and give you support and take you on that journey, right? And assist these communities that we're building with these books. And these amazing humans are very, very generously there for people. And I'm speaking directly to any viewer who feels it. You are not alone. Look at these wonderful people here. Come join us for our live stream book launch party, which is going to be on February 16th at 10 a.m. Eastern. I'm going to have all of the authors there, and they're going to be there to share their wisdom once again with you. We're going to have some fun on the February 16th because we're going to have a little giveaway for our book purchasers. And that's going to be on the Brave Healer Productions Facebook page, which is also down in the notes for you guys. If you're listening to this after February 16th of 22, you always have to like tell people the dates, right? Well, that means the book is ready. So you got to get over to Amazon. But, you know, if you're listening before, then you got to wait. So maybe you are also a wellness practitioner and it's time to share your brave words with the world. Come find me over at bravehealer.com and we'll have a chat about getting you into one of our next book projects. Lastly, everybody, remember, your words change the world when you're brave enough to share them. So it is time to be brave. See you next time, everyone. Bye, ladies.
Bye.